So, after over 2 extraordinary weeks, and I say over two because we did have events before the opening ceremony, including the men's rugby sevens and the a couple of soccer, football, hockey events. Yes, but the 2024 Paris Olympics is over, and if you're like myself, who doesn't really care too much about the closing ceremony, you're probably wanting to sort of recap on what has been a really a memorable Olympics. Look, it's yeah, you can't say it's impossible to say whether to compare Olympics with each other given the different eras, which is, in terms of like sporting rules, social norms, etc. And Paris 2024 is good in its own right, of course. It's probably the first Olympics where social media has really been at its full palm with the memes. You've had, of course, the Turkish shooter Yusuf Dikic with his, the famous shooting meme, which everyone, including the new new world record, Olympic record, or no, Paul Volter, Duplantis mimicking. You've had Nina Kennedy from Australia mimicking. So many people. You've had, I guess you've had, that was probably. I guess that's what I think the IOC probably would, given that Dikic won gold with his partner, which we should not forget, his women's partner in the shooting they won. I think that's sort of the image the IOC would want everyone to remember from this Paris 2024 Olympics. If we were just going to remember memes, can't say the same for Raygun breakdancing. I think the breakdancing was pretty much confirmed to be out of Los Angeles. So Raygun definitely did not contribute to that. Although I think in hindsight, I get she was trying, but I think it does leave a lot. It does fuel the doubters and skeptics, including myself, as to why breakdancing is in the sport. Although the defendants will be saying, how about synchronized swimming, artistic gymnastics, that sort of thing. And of course, we did have town planning and philosophy in the Olympics many, over a century ago. But yeah, look, I think if there's one thing I could say though, it is really nice to be able to enjoy a normal Olympics. And when I mean normal, of course, you've got to remember what happened in, with Tokyo 2020. Of course, it was, Tokyo 2020 was really, set up to be, I think, what Paris has become. But of course, we had a certain pandemic which forced the Olympics to be postponed for a year. And even when it was postponed, pretty much all the Olympics would be either behind closed doors or limited crowds. You had athletes, officials masked up for ceremonies. It was still pretty much the height of the pandemic. And those are just things it wasn't a normal Olympics. And much as, I know New Zealand had a really good Olympics now. I guess now Paris 2024 with the 10 gold medals certainly exceeds Tokyo and anything that they've ever done, which I'll talk about more. But certainly, Paris 2024 was the first normal Olympics since 2016. Now I've done a few cuts of this recap since yesterday. I was, even before the women's marathon and all the cycling events. There is one more thing I guess I should say. This is of course the first budget-friendly Olympics of the new IOC era, and of this new budget-friendly IOC era, and look, I guess it's a bit of a cheat mode because Paris already has most of the facilities in place to host, like you had the Stade de France, Parc des Princes, all these events. I mean, so I guess, Paris was always going to be cheap. And I guess, that's actually what the ROC has wanted to do. That's why they've selected Los Angeles, Brisbane. Yeah, that's a different story together. But yeah, I think this has been I think in that regard, I think it succeeded. Look, because, I guess Paris and France have always had top-notch Olympic venues. And, this, I think, certainly, having the opening ceremony, I know there's been the talks about, that was sort of overshadowed by all the controversy around the, Blue Jesus, Dionysus, were they mocking Jesus, or was it actually, in fact, they were actually depicting Dionysus, because it is, the Olympics are from Greece. A bit like, I guess it reminds me of that Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episode where Nelson Muntz is transformed into a raccoon, even though he keeps repeating that he's the Lone Ranger. But we moved on from there. I think we'll talk about it in the opening ceremony. But yeah, look, I think this is certainly the way to go. And yeah, I guess the kind of way you get to go to all these established cities like Paris, Los Angeles. I'm sure London's probably going to have a chance of hosting it again. Probably, hopefully Tokyo. I'd like to see Tokyo get another chance, because having seen what they did in 2021 and what Paris has done, it just kind of feels like they deserve another chance to host a normal Olympics with no pandemic. Although that's highly unlikely. But anyway, we'll recap the sport in a little bit. But first, obviously this is a sports channel, mainly, not so as per the description. So yeah, we've got to talk about the sport at the Olympics. So first, I could say New Zealand. That's the focus, because I am in New Zealand, and and yeah, look, it is, and it's definitely the hottest. That's the hottest topic amongst most of my subscribers. Although I've got a few from South Africa as well, and Malaysia. Yeah. So look, of course, yeah. I think it's probably good I didn't finalized the recap yesterday, because New Zealand's gone on to win 2 more medals, including another gold and the 4 bronze. It's crazy how it's so weird. Not I think it feels like winning bronze is almost a forgotten color at this Olympics. We've won the highest number of gold medals at any Olympics. We're comfortably past Los Angeles, and it's the first time that New Zealand is, I think, from memory, New Zealand has won a gold medal on the final day of the modern Olympics. I think that's obviously down to the quirks, and obviously track cycling, which used to be done by the middle weekend, is now has been pushed to the second week. I don't know if that's going to stay for Los Angeles. I know there is word that track events is going to move to the first week. But we shall see. But in any case, as a consequence, with Elise Andrews being the top women's sprinter at the moment, it's left, that meant, and the sprint finals being on the final day of the Olympics, it meant that New Zealand had a really, really good shot of winning a medal on the final day. And and as it transpired, Elise Andrews got her second gold medal, and that takes us to 10, past Canada. Some might joke and say karma to Canada, who actually had a really, really good games, by the way. Karma to Canada, of course. This Olympics started under the shadow of DroneGate, which got most of the Canadian the women's coaching team sacked. I guess that it's a bit weird talking about Canada as villains. But anyway, back to New Zealand. Dog cycling had it is crazy to think that it's been 20 years until Elise Andrews won gold in the individual sprint. It was the first gold, not individual, whatever it was a few days ago, I can't remember. That it was the first gold medal that New Zealand had won in the cycling since Sarah Ullman in 2004. I mean, it's certainly been a long time. Hopefully the drought will end for swimming at some stage, because let's talk about swimming, because as I said, we still can't seem to win a medal. Haven't won one since 1996, but a lot of the swimmers did perform well. Erica Fairweather did really well. Clabert did really well, personal best. I guess the competition, and I guess might as well talk about swimming as a whole. You've got someone like Ariana Titmus, you've got these, you've got Katie Ledecky, the Americans, the Chinese, and of course, Marshawn. The quality in swimming is just ridiculously high, and it just puts into perspective, when the sport of swimming, you've got to be really, really special physically just to win it, because it is a physical test. And for all the training you have, I mean, I think some of these athletes are just special. Hopefully, legitimately special. I mean, Ledecky is, if you took belts out, Ledecky is the most decorated American swimmer in history. And Ariane Titmus is, I think she could still very well catch up with Ledecky there. But still, a great I think that time will come. Cycling's there. Rowing certainly continues to provide all the medals. And it was, I guess, in retrospect, this was, I think, rowing should be really pleased with the New Zealand rowing New Zealand will be really pleased with the final haul that they got. I think there were a lot of young rowers there. Really, the super moms are doing really well. It's crazy to think. It's been a while that I'm struggling to remember their names, but the super moms, I think that was one of my moments in the Olympics. And the men's four, I think, unlucky to be beaten by US to silver. But yeah, again, there's a bit of talent across the board there, and yeah, I think the rowing continues to be strong in New Zealand. Of course, yeah. Look, we've got there was one gold medal that is easily forgotten. That's Finn Butcher. Finn, of course, as I speak, has carried the New Zealand flag into the Stade de France for the closing ceremony, along with Lisa Carrington. And I'll talk about Lisa in a short while. Might possibly have to do a video on her. But yeah, Finn Butcher in the canoe slalom, and that, by the way, was that has got to be one of my favorite sports. Now that was that was entertaining. Finn Butcher winning for gold there. That was and of course, yeah. When we come to Lisa Carrington, who takes the medal haul to 8. Easily by far the most decorated New Zealand Olympian in history. I can't see her going to can't see her going to Los Angeles because she'll be, I think the word is that this might be her last Olympics. But whatever happens, she is comfortably the greatest Olympian we've ever had. If you watch her on the events, she just dominates. Every time it's like, I did see on Leisure or Money Bank someone put a bet on that Amy Fisher would upset Lisa Carrington, which anyway, but speaking of Amy Fisher, I think her time will come. She's possibly the next Olympics again, depending on what happens with Lisa Carrington. I mean, it's hard to know. I mean, these athletes seem to keep going with till 40. I mean, Emma Twigg was 37 and she nearly got gold. So, and these athletes are Lisa Carrington, you could argue, is still in really, really top shape, and you could almost say if she goes out in Los Angeles, she could still dominate. Maybe she could be the second. Maybe she's gunning for that second overall in terms of individual medals won by an individual at any Olympics. So we shall see. Again, of course, as I say, New Zealand's got there's a really stringent qualifying process in New Zealand. So I mean, if Lisa Carrington's she'll be found out if she's not quite Olympic ready come Los Angeles. So, but yeah, again, getting a lot of talent in the canoeing and and then. We've covered cycling, and of course the rugby. We've got a shout out to the women's rugby sevens, of course. Their second gold medal in a row. A thrilling final against Canada, and they just continue to set the standard. Hopefully the men's will come out at some stage. I know there's some issues with the men's rugby and committing 15s playing to 7, committing to 7s and all of that. But I mean, we're a country like rugby nation like New Zealand. I know we're not having the best of times at the moment, but really it's a bit like Brazil not winning a gold or something like that at the Olympics. Of course, we come to track and field, which has become a bit of a New Zealand is really going through a bit of a golden period at the moment. In the last 2025, of course, if you go back to Beatrice Faumuina, and that, clearly, what Val Adams has done, what Nick Willis, what Tom Walsh have all started, that is definitely, that is really an explosion of, I think New Zealanders are realizing that they can excel at track and field. They might have to go overseas to the US to progress, or I think, like someone like Walsh and Adams, they can spend a lot of time in New Zealand now. But certainly the revolutions continue. We're going to see all these new these athletes competing at the world champs. I think certainly, and now Eliza McCartney making a return to the Olympics 8 years after winning bronze in Rio. Probably one of the stories of this Olympics. Of course, if you know Eliza's background, she had issues with Achilles. She's had chronic illness in the years between Rio and Paris. She didn't qualify for Tokyo. So to come back and make the finals, finish a respectable 6 is really, really outstanding. and the legacy that she leaves behind. She's New Zealand got three. New Zealand, including Eliza, got three pole vaulters into the final. Imogen Iris and Olivia McTaggart. And I'm sure they'll if their form continues, I think they'll be back for Los Angeles, and so Eliza. I think Eliza still. I feel Eliza still has one more Olympics in her. She's if she wants, if she's still performing at that level, of course, she can still qualify. But it just shows you, I guess, that it is the depth in New Zealand track and field is really, really strong at the moment. So a shout out to her. She might not have medal, but and we got a shot that pole vault final was great. Like Nina Kennedy coming sort of quietly emerging out of the shadows to beat KT Moon, for gold. I think that was certainly a really, really great final there. But of course, the final shot has to go to Hamish Kerr in the athletics, of course. Look, we are definitely going to see a revolution in men's high jump, women's high jump as well. Hamish, that was probably the most exciting and stressful gold medal final for any New Zealander in a long time. Look, I think we thought that, I think the initial reports were that Shelby McEwen asked for the jump off. That has, of course, been refuted since. It's actually Hamish who asked for the jump off, and he actually was going to jump off, if he had decided he was going to jump off, if he was tight for goal, and McEwen just went along with it. And look, I guess in a way, Kerr making that jump up, in that jump off, just makes it a bit sweeter, a bit like Edgbaston 2005, really, if you're an English cricket fan. Something we'll never forget. But absolutely, what a achievement by Hamish Kerr. We've got a shout out, of course, final. Of course, this is going to be her last Olympics. It's Lydia Ko, who has completed her trifecta set. Look, I know people like myself still aren't sure about golf being an Olympics event, but it's there, and Lydia Ko performed to the highest level. She might have snuck. She might not have had the best couple of years since she jumped onto the scene, but she is still a top athlete, top golfer, and one of the greatest of all time, and will almost certainly get into the Hall of Fame. This was the one event, the Women's Golf Hall of Fame. This was the one event she needed just to get in there. So so congratulations to her. Silver, bronze, gold, and she can certainly really finish her Olympic career on a high. And so that's New Zealand's Olympics, the most successful in history. I think we'll be talking about the 10 gold, but of course you got to put everyone who wins a medal for New Zealand should be celebrated. The 7 silver medalists and the 3 bronze medalists. So 20, and we finish 11th, which is really, really outstanding for New Zealand. So it's gonna be a bit of a hangover period now. I mean, to be fair, I think I've actually watched more Olympics than I expected. I think it helps that Paris is actually Central European summertime, which means a lot of morning events like marathon, all the New Zealand events like rowing, canoeing are all, those are the events that New Zealanders take part in. They're all in the morning, at night, and then athletics, the night events, those are the finals. They're early in the morning. I'm probably going to do a bit of sleep, and Los Angeles is going to be. Los Angeles will sort of be more watchable, and then Brisbane will be. You might as well take the 2 weeks off. A great Olympics and something we'll never forget. And we get we'll be back to the 4-year cycle. Of course, we only had to wait 3 years after Tokyo. So, what are your thoughts on this Olympics? What was your highlights? Look, there's so many. I'm not going to list here. There's Hassan winning 5,000, 10,000, and the marathon. There's Keely. There's Britain's new golden girl, and Keely Hodgkinson. She really, literally the golden girl. There's Noah Lyles with winning, 100 meters and getting medal in 200 meters, even though he had COVID. I've already talked about Dionysus. We've talked about swimming. We've talked about Duplantis, we've talked about the Turkish shooter, we've talked about ray gun. God, breakdancing is not back in the Olympics, but I'm looking forward to cricket, flag football in the next Olympics. So yeah, what are your thoughts? How does Paris rate amongst past Olympics? Is it the fact is the feel good factor around Paris simply because it's the first normal Olympics we've had since Rio in 2016? Or is it really, really good? That Paris did an outstanding job? Is this the template for Olympics to go? Is this, and some were saying it's just the reset button that the Olympics needed after all the billions of dollars, that were spent by Rio, Tokyo, or in the past Olympics. So, what are your thoughts? If you like, and of course, can New Zealand go one better next in Los Angeles and Brisbane? I'd like to hear your thoughts. And look, if you like this video, free if you like.
This moment